call me Sculptor of Sculptors. Yeah, Sculptor of Sculptors.
That's the master. Master
Yeah.
Chan.
My name is Osayuki Idubor. I'm a sculptor. I'm a son to a very prominent sculptor, late Felix Idubor. So I was born in Lagos 50-something years ago. I grew up in Lagos with my father, my mom, my mother Fumilola Idubor. Magically, from a royal Egba family. Father was a royalty in Ibaland, Abifade. So we were born in Lagos, lived in Lagos for some years before relocating to Benin. Then my father had a studio in Lagos, so we were there until the 70s. We came back to Benin. We were toddlers when we came back to Benin with my father, because we relocated back from Lagos to Benin around 72, thereabouts, during Obemudia's reign as governor of Midwest State. Yes, my father left Benin when he was very young. He went to Lagos. He developed his skill in Lagos, though he was an amateur artist in Benin, and he was carving with chisel. He made his first chisel from 6 inches nail, though his parents were totally against his becoming a sculptor. So probably that was what informed his decision to relocate to Lagos, but he was discovered in Lagos. You understand? He was working in Lagos. He had his first studio at Takawa in the street in Lagos. Then from there he moved to King George V Street, also in Lagos Island. He had this studio there and his art shop, a small gallery there. So that was where an American came and saw his unique kind of job. The American, as history had it, bought the whole shop. Every single carving that was there, he paid for everything, bought the shop. So from there, my father was able to, build his house at Opaniko, as I said earlier, a high-end neighborhood in Lagos then, So it was, my father was there with the likes of engineering back then, a lot of prominent Edos who were living in the area then. Until in the 70s when Idia was governor and invited him to come back to Benin to develop the new state. That's when my father relocated to Benin. But before then, when he was in Lagos, he was discovered by whites. So they gave him a scholarship. When they discovered his talent, they gave him a scholarship to go to Royal College of Arts in 1957 in London. So he went there, studied there. And after the UNESCO scholarship, actually, it was a UNESCO scholarship. He studied there, met, and I was down his side. So he did some beautiful jobs there too. There's this this life-size carving of a Benin chief that I did in London. You still have the sculpture in the gallery in Benin now. They brought it from London, and the work is priceless. They can't even pin a price to it. People, they've offered millions upon, but it has never been sold to anybody. My father didn't sell it. My dad's brother that's in charge of gallery today, he didn't sell it because totally priceless. He brought it from London. So, that story of my father, it was in Lagos before he moved to Benin to establish the Idubor Art Gallery in 1972 in Benin at the behest of the then governor, late General Osayuki Idubor.
Thank you.
I can't pin a time or a date to it because I think as far back as when I can remember, we used to play with, mud, do all kind of sculptures from very early in life, probably because we saw our father doing it, and art on its own is something, is a gift. You are born with it, you don't learn it. So as we're a baby is growing up, you pick mud here and there, mold something. Mold something, sometimes they call it a mazel, this kind of stuff. So from there, the military was in power. So I remember then that we just get mud, do a core, then use cement to finish it. The bust of Sagbobo Bermuda got one with their military cap. We used to do that a lot then. We're doing it. Then when we go to school, anytime I come back from school, we always go. My father does not give us chance to waste our time to play. So the driver drives us from school straight to the gallery. It's when our father closes from work that we will go back with him to the house. So I think our itinerary was set for us then, that we didn't have time to waste. So that was why it's like we had no choice than to follow the. Though I love art, I've always liked, but I think our father really molded us through that part. The ones that had the talent. It's not everybody that has the talent too. The one that had the talent. So where that we had no choice how to do it. So as I was growing up, I knew I was going to be a sculptor right from when I was a baby. Yes, so thanks for that question. Idubor with his contemporaries had another style. He has his own style of sculpture. Normally they're traditional carvings. I don't know if I call it symbolism. They just carve something. The eyes are represented, the nose is there, the mouth is there, but not detailed. That was what was obtained then until Idubor came. Idubor could, make the eye look like real eyes, the lips look like real lips. So if you see his job as far back as in the 50s, the 60s, you see modern, touch of art, detailed, sculpture. That was what was unique about him, and also it was very, very hardworking. It takes his time, and he works from morning till late in the night. Then creative, was really creative and imaginative. Apart from sculpture, there are a lot of things Idubor was doing then that you look at him and you admire him. He brought in so many mediums into art, things that were not obtained before now. Like before now, either you bring a block of rock, and carve a sculpture out of it. But Idubor was able to imagine how that can be done in softer in a simpler way. By introducing doing armature with iron rods, applying concrete, and forming whatever I want to form, and still get the effect of a stone carving. So Idubor introduced cement to sculpture. Yes. He also, there's this what you call body filler. You take it, you do your clay model, take the mold, then print it out with body filler. Body filler before now was mainly used to, work on a car, the body of a car. were Idubor introduced into sculpture. So both in universities and everywhere they use body filler to cast. It was Idubor's. Then when it comes to architecture, there's this floor they call Sculptor of Sculptors. They use Idubor introduced it. It's like marble, but it's not marble. When you look at it, you think it's marble. Well, he was the one that introduced it. So it's mentioned in the Nigerian Benin. That was what they did with the whole floor. But when you get into data, this whole house is a marble floor. Far back in the 70s, it was built in the 70s. Until you look at it very closely, you know it's not a marble, but Idubor created it. Because many people use it in their houses too. And the man was really versatile, creative, you know, had lots of imagination, just like we are still too. Yeah, I'm versed in monumental art, which most people knows me for. In Benin, Lagos, other places. I have my works in so many places. So what I do, I try to take my art to that level of realism. That you think the person that I'm sculpting is really there. So most times I work with photographs. You know, when I say monumental art, when you want to replicate maybe a live person or somebody that has passed on, you use a photograph, you know, to sculpt the face or anything that's working to resemblance per se. Not just that, but that's what most people know me for. Even in Benin, they call me Sculptor of Sculptors. Yeah, Sculptor of Sculptors.
That's master. Master
child. Yeah, because most sculptors bring their jobs to me.
Yeah.
Most I can verify in Benin. Most sculptors bring their jobs to me. So that is one thing. That does not stop me from being imaginative too. I'm very, very imaginative. I bring something from from another realm and
divine.
Put it down. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Also good at metal work.
Okay.
Woodwork. That's why I say I'm versatile. I do woodwork. What I like about embellishment, you know, maybe architectural, you know, you embellish buildings. We do all these things, so I'm very good at those things. Okay. Because we have to leave the traditional, you know, arts and also go into modernism, you know, where the aesthetic value, you increase the aesthetic value of even buildings that people stay, you know, is still part of our jobs. Immortalizing people in 3 dimension. That's what sculpture is for. You know, people go for paintings, they take photographs of people, they have their reasons for doing it. Some for memories, some for historical purposes. So when you want to take it further, you do 3-dimensional, which is sculpture. You get the width, the breadth, the height and everything, just the way that person was when it was life. Then the generations to come, with the great grandchildren, this is our progenitor, our forefather. This is how it looked like. This is just like Egyptians, even look at like the Romans. You know how Caesar looked like. That is something, you know, that's great, you know. But people tend to shy away from these things. Image, how can I be doing my father's image, which is wrong. People started looking at it, look at it like the Romans. You know, when you look at something, you know how it gladdens your heart. That's art. You know, look at it and you are happy. It makes you happy. You know, that's where creativity, where proficiency comes in. So that you're able to deliver that thing the way it should be. There are a lot of sculptors that say, okay, this is Chief so and so. And you look at that. This one does not look like Chief so, you know. It's defeated. The purpose is to be defeated. So you are able to, most times, what I do, most times after doing my sculpture, like I did Tumba Balogun, the president of the CEO of Monumental Bank.
Okay.
It's late now. When you have a job before you, what you do is sketch, draw out a plan, what exactly what you want, the way you want it. The way you want it, you draw it out, pen and paper, or pencil and paper. Then when you are satisfied with what you've drawn, you bring out the materials, if it is wood or metal, depending on the kind of job you want to do. Like a full-size sculpture, you use metal for the armature, the skeleton, what they call skeleton. You understand? Then, if it is bust, you can use wood for the skeleton. Then prepare your clay. Start modeling. After modeling the exact shape of what you want, all the pictures are there, and you are satisfied. If it is something to resemblance, you can call your client. You come and look at this model, this clay model. If you are satisfied that this person looks like you or looks like your parent or anybody, that you think they are modeling, then you take the mold. We use cement, POP, even fiberglass to take mold. After taking the mold, which is the negative, when you get the negative, you cannot transfer if it is going to be bronze. That is a longer process. If it's going to be fiberglass, you apply your resin calculation accelerator. After the clay model, that is what they call molding.
Yes.
In the layman's language, you mold it to look exactly like what you want. Even if it is abstraction, if it is abstract sculpture, if it is the resemblance, anything at all, you model with clay. Something like this.
Yes.
So after that, then you now apply either with cement. You can use cement to take the mold, apply it on top of it. On top of it, that's after greasing it. Because you use oil to grease it so that I can vibrate it. That's why I can pull it off.
Yes.
When it is dried, and when it is cured, when it is dried. So that is negative. That mold you are taking, you are using to print out everything that you've already modeled in the clay, on the clay. So the modeling will now be imprinted into the mold, negative in the negative part of it. Then the positive is when you apply whatever you want to finish your job with. Either if you want to do fiberglass, you mix your resin, catalyst, and the 3 chemicals together. Resin, catalyst, and accelerator. Then the mat is, there's what you call fiber mat. You put it in the mold, apply your resin, and it hardens. When it hardens, you pull it away, you liberate it from the mold. Then you get exactly what you have in your clay model. Exactly what you have, because it has printed out. But when I was talking about bronze is a longer process. After getting your clay model, you take the mold, either with POP or cement, depending on what you want. POP is faster, but cement is stronger. Then you apply your wax inside the mold, the negative. Bring out the wax from the negative, the mold. You now have exactly what you have in your clay model in the wax. You see it exactly, the eyes, everything, whatever you did with the model, the clay model, will appear in the wax. Then you now wrap the wax. Either you wrap it up with POP and sand, or the traditional way with mud. In mud. After wrapping it with mud, you tie it with binding wire to strengthen it. Then wrap it again with another mud, leave it to dry. Then you put your arrow inside. Put it in a very hot fire, real furnace, about 900 degrees, very, very hot. Then you now melt out the wax. As it's melting out the wax, you are pouring in your brass, which you've melted in the furnace. So the brass will now take where the wax is running out from, the rice is now occupying it. Because that wax is going to create a vacuum inside the mold. Inside the mold, and the bronze is now filling up where the wax is melting out. And when it's cooled, because you have to bring it out of the furnace, it will now cool down. You break that's what they call seripediu in bronze casting. Seripediu, lost wax. They call it lost wax process. The wax is lost forever. How do you get it back? Then you break the mold. When you break the mold, you have your bronze. Exactly what you model with the clay. And that's how these bronze works are being done. So those are the things. This mask, they call it Festac mask because this was what they used this as a symbol of Festac 1977. That's where Festival of World Black Arts. As the known for the definition. So this is made in bronze. Bronze from Benin, Ikun, traditional Benin casters. It's made in bronze. We made it in Benin and brought it to Canada. So that's the story of this one. This and it took about 2 months to make. From modeling to casting and polishing, it took about 2 months to make. This is miniature sculpture of a leopard. The traditional way of making leopards. It's not as if it looks like real leopard, but this is the traditional way of making leopards because it's an ancient work, ancient sculpture. It's a symbol of the monarchy, the Oba of Benin. That's why they address him as Obiekmi because this is Ekmi Benin, leopard. So they always go in twos, the male and the female. So the symbolism of the symbol of the Oba, which is speed, strength. That's the leopard. I brought them from Benin. I made them in Benin. Casted them in Igun. Our traditional foundry is in Igun in Benin. You know, this little work takes at least 2 weeks to make, from the modeling to the cast bronze and the polishing.